Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Zane, and today's video is about should Drew McIntyre go back to the Sinister Scotsman. Now let's get into this. Now, I understand that Drew McIntyre came in around maybe 2008, 2009, and his original gimmick was that of the Sinister Scotsman. He came into the ring with a kilt. Well, at first he didn't, but then he did. And he went up against Finlay, which is an Irishman. Now, that little rivalry I kind of enjoyed a bit, because that was a bit of an interesting thing when you see two people from the UK, which means United Kingdom. There are different parts of the United Kingdom. You have England, you have Scotland, and you have Ireland. And they're not always agreeing with one another. Ergo, when it came to Ireland and basically England having problems with explosives, the Irish Liberation Movement. But that's for another entire video. But anyway, taking that bit in, that made things interesting. I believed, at least for me, I don't know about everyone else, I believed he should have had more time to work with the Sinister Scotsman gimmick. Not saying that what Vince McMahon did by giving him the Chosen One gimmick or moniker wasn't a good idea. It was good, but the problem is that they didn't follow through with it. By the time he reached to get the Intercontinental belt and had that little rivalry with, well, that little craziness with Teddy Long, I wasn't too fond of it. It just didn't seem exactly right. Just didn't feel right. It was still at least a decent gimmick, a decent part of the storyline, but I just didn't like the storyline that much. But essentially speaking, now that they dropped him so flat that he is bounced from going to Raw to SmackDown and all the way down to Superstars and then bounce back up to SmackDown and just drop straight down into Superstars again. As far as I'm concerned, he needs a new change. Why not go back to the original gimmick he had of being the Sinister Scotsman, coming into the ring wearing a damn kilt? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I believe Drew McIntyre really had a very good thing when he was still dressed in a kilt. Being a face or a heel made no difference. Having that strong Scottish background, look at Sheamus. Sheamus came from Dublin, Ireland. He's from there. During the time when he was basically a heel, not only did he throw a lot of puns out that came from his home country, it went over well. It didn't matter if you were black, Spanish, white, Irish. It didn't make a difference. It went over well the way he carried it. Why not let Drew McIntyre have that again? They're not doing anything with him. If they're doing anything, it's not that much, and it's on Superstars. And he deserves better than that. I understand that his girlfriend, or I forgot it was his girlfriend or wife, I think it was Kelly, basically buried him. But essentially right now, he has the great potential to be a great main eventer. Just like Cody Rhodes right now, and I say this clearly, Cody Rhodes, even though he's working with Sin Cara, he should be well above this. After losing the IC title to Christian, he should have been pushed up the card. He's now stagnant, and that's sad. Working with Sin Cara, the person that should be working with Sin Cara right now, should be working with him, is Rey Mysterio. As much as some people would say, oh, they're trying to prepare him, get him built up separately from Rey so they can face each other at WrestleMania eventually, yes, but the problem is that Sin Cara has not delivered, as I said on the previous video. And right now, it would have been better if they stuck them together as a tag team. It would have been better, briefly, because simply put, having one match is not enough. Rey needs to teach Sin Cara how to work in the WWE. Sin Cara may know how to work in Japan. He may know how to work maybe in Canada, and definitely knows how to work in Mexico. That's why he's so famous. But the problem is when you step from those arenas into, well, basically stepping from those promotions into WWE, you don't do that well unless either you really came up real well, or you have someone who's already been there, like Rey Mysterio. Sin Cara needs him. But taking away from that, Drew McIntyre right now needs something like that. He needs someone to help him. Needs someone to bring him back up through the card. And I say the best person right now that may still be willing to come to the WWE. That is a legend. Guess who it is, and I'm sure you know who it is. Roddy Piper. That's right. The Piper's Pit visionary. The one who created one of the best type of in-ring performance. Not just wrestling, but how he managed to bring the people in. Look what happened with him and Superfly Jimmy Snuka when he cracked him over the head with a coconut. No one's ever forgotten that. He was that cutting edge. He was that ruthless. And right now, Drew McIntyre, I believe, needs to go back to that. Become as ruthless as he did when he first came out and went up against Finlay. The very first person he went up against some jobbers, but Finlay was the one that I believe defined him as being the Sinister Scotsman. He was willing to do whatever it took to win. But the problem is, when he became the chosen one, and then they stopped pushing him up the card, whatever tricks and little things he did in the ring became a disaster. And he has talent. He's that good. But the problem I see now that he's fallen flat on his face because the WWE, as many people, the British Fists have said this, and also the Off the Rope show, and I agree with them. They're both very good shows, and if anyone's never seen them, if you see this video, if you want to email them and talk to them about learning more about the business. I've been watching them. Both shows are very good, and I like them both. And essentially, they say it best. The WWE has pulled the rug out from under Drew McIntyre like they did with many other talents, and they really shouldn't have done that. They need him. He could have been a great face for them, but he also could be a great heel. Falling on the Scottish background, just as Sheamus did. He wasn't a bad heel, and he's not a bad face either. By him basing most of his character on his Scottish, Sheamus, on his Irish background, you get a very good all-around performer. Drew McIntyre is the same way. I'll give you another prime example. Look at Wade Barrett. They always monikered him as a bare-knuckles champion, but he never allowed him to become a bare-knuckles champion. As a wrestler, they never let him, like with the Big Show, knock someone out with one punch. They could have done that with Drew. It is so hard to keep these names separate because I'm thinking all three at once. Like I said, I'm still nervous about this. Pardon me. For Wade Barrett, if they allowed him to keep the moniker as a bare-knuckles fighter and allowed him to knock people out with one punch because he was known to be a good fighter, they didn't. Now they're making up for it with his vignettes. The vignettes he's making right now with having a fight night type of feeling, or even like a back street fighting kind of thing. It's very good. Allowing him to come back more as a bare-knuckles fighter will be more of an all-around good thing for him. Because the way he did it with the Nexus, since they dropped the Nexus, and it didn't really work for him. Him getting hurt was really terrible. But having him be out for a while and then come back with this is very good. And if they continue this, it doesn't matter if he's a heel or a face. Using the bare-knuckles type of character he'll have, he can go either way. He can be an edgy type of face, having a bare-knuckles background, or he can be a very, very rough heel, having a smash-mouth type of tactic and technique. Drew McIntyre is the same way. He's very, very smash-mouth. When he first came in, wearing that kilt and having that attitude, I believe was much better for him. I wish they had given him more time with it. Or at least they could have incorporated it into his chosen one gimmick, but they never did. Right now, I believe this would be best. If they let him leave for a couple of months, it could be 2 or 3 months. Doesn't have to be long. Send him back to Scotland. Let him go with a film crew. Let him, in a sense, embrace his home and his vignettes. I understand from my, I had a godfather who was half Irish, half Scottish. And he used to tell me that when he went to Ireland, they had certain games, similar to the type of games they have in Scotland, where a lot of times they would throw large logs to see your strength. It's kind of like a test of strength, like an Iron Man type of thing. The strongest man possible. Let him do that. Let him do those type of events. Let him show how strong and how, like William Wallace, like with Mel Gibson in Braveheart. Let him get a little William Wallace into his character. Let him be like a forceful type of either heel or face. Let him show that. By doing this, by doing vignettes similar to Wade Barrett, showing one of the most strongest parts of his character when he first started, he could truly move up the card, not just well, but I think fast. And right now, if they make him face, they need faces. Right now, Ryback is the only monster face they got, that they're putting up the card very well. And I wish to say he's doing well with his matches. I wish to say he's doing very well with his theme song. And my opinion about the theme song makes no difference. And I wish to say this clearly. If you've seen my previous videos, which I will connect to this if I have to, I don't think I will, I said about Ryback that I didn't like his parts of his theme song. Makes no damn difference. I am glad they're pushing him the way they are. The music makes no difference if I like it or not. I want him to succeed because they need faces right now. They have very few faces in SmackDown and definitely almost no faces in Raw. And this is a good thing right now for Ryback. I would love to see this for Drew McIntyre. Bring him back as a Scotsman. Bring him back in the kilt. Yes. Bring him back as an American would think in a damn skirt. Bring him back, and that would go great with the WWE talking about their bullying campaign. Bring him in a storyline where people are laughing at him about him deciding to follow his Scottish roots. Sorry, I said Irish. His Scottish roots by wearing this kilt, by them laughing at him, and then he having to fight those people will make him that much better. It will give him something to do, showing that he's not going to let nobody insult him. He's going to kick the ass of anybody in his face. And what he did with Finley in the beginning, when he first started out, he beat the crap out of Finley. And Finley beat the crap out of him. But Finley elevated him. When he was here, Finley brought him here. Finley was here, Finley brought him up here. And then when Finley was finished with him, and when Vince McMahon gave him the moniker of the Chosen One, brought him up here. But then after the IC title, and then that little bit with Teddy Long, went down there. Bring him up. And I wish to say this for Twitter. Hashtag give Drew the kilt. That's right. Give Drew the kilt. And let him work with Roddy Piper. Let him have bits on his Piper's Pit. Now this is my video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like it. I'm very sorry that I haven't been able to do many videos. I have a lot of things going on. So unfortunately I can't do constant, continuous videos. But I'm hoping to get them done as soon as I can. I hope you like this video. If you do, subscribe and comment. Have a good day.